When I first started learning English, I thought it was impossible. Every word looked strange, every sentence felt heavy, and every mistake made me want to quit. But then I realized something important. Learning English is not about being perfect. When I first started learning English, I felt like I was climbing a mountain without shoes. Every step hurt, every mistake embarrassed me, and every word felt like a stone in my mouth. I remember sitting with books in front of me, reading the same sentence again and again, but nothing entered my brain. It was as if English was a secret language designed to keep me outside the door of opportunity. But then I realized something. English was not the problem. My fear was the problem. I was so afraid of looking foolish, so afraid of being laughed at, that I forgot the simple truth. Nobody cares if you speak perfectly. They only care if you try. That day changed everything for me because I stopped chasing perfection and started chasing courage. When you are a beginner, you think fluency is about big vocabulary lists, thick grammar books, and expensive courses. You believe someone else has the magic key that will unlock the door to fluency. But the truth is, fluency does not belong to books or teachers. It belongs to you. It belongs to the small steps you take every day, the little risks you take when you open your mouth, and the courage you show when you practice, even though you feel shy. I learned that fluency is built like a house, brick by brick. A new word here, a small conversation there, one more sentence added tomorrow. Slowly, without realizing, you are no longer a beginner. The house of fluency is not built in a day, but every day you add one brick, and one day you will look up and see a strong house standing tall. Many people want super fast English learning, but they misunderstand what fast really means. Fast is not about skipping the struggle. Fast is about not stopping when it gets hard. Fast is about showing up every single day, even if you feel tired, even if you feel discouraged, even if you think you are not improving. You cannot learn English in one night, but you can learn something new every night. If you do that for 180 nights, you will be shocked at what you can do. The real difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not talent, it is consistency. Talent gives you a start, but consistency takes you to the finish line. I tell you this, English should not be treated like a subject in school. It should be treated like breathing. You don't ask yourself if you should breathe today, you just do it. That's how English must become in your life. Watch a movie without subtitles, and even if you only understand 10%, keep going. Listen to a podcast while walking, and let the rhythm of the words enter your ears. Speak to yourself in the mirror, even if you feel silly. Order food in English if you can. Write your shopping list in English. Change your phone settings to English. Make it impossible to escape. When English becomes part of your life, you don't have to run after fluency anymore. Fluency will run after you. And what about mistakes? Most people see mistakes as failures. They think, if I speak wrong, I will look stupid. But let me ask you, how did you learn to walk as a baby? Did you wait until you were sure you could walk perfectly? No. You stood up, you fell, you cried, you tried again, and eventually you walked. Nobody laughed at you for falling because falling was part of learning. Mistakes in English are the same. Every mistake is proof that you are learning. Every wrong word spoken today becomes the right word tomorrow. The real failure is silence, not mistakes. Silence keeps you in the same place forever, but mistakes move you forward faster than you think. I have seen people who spend years studying grammar, memorizing vocabulary, and filling notebooks with rules, but when the time comes to speak, they freeze. Why? Because they waited for the perfect moment. But there is no perfect moment. The best time to speak is always now. If you wait for confidence to appear, you will wait forever. Confidence does not come first, action comes first. Confidence is the reward for action. The first time you speak, you will feel nervous. The second time, you will still feel nervous. The 10th time, you will feel less nervous. The 100th time, you will speak without thinking. That is how fluency is built, not in a classroom, not in a notebook, but in the real world, with real practice, with real mistakes. You must also understand that nobody was born fluent. Everyone you admire today who speaks English so smoothly was once a beginner like you. They also struggled. They also felt shy. They also doubted themselves. The difference is they never stopped. They kept going when it was boring. They kept going when it was difficult. They kept going when it felt hopeless. And one day, they woke up and realized English was no longer their enemy. It was their friend. If they can do it, so can you. The secret is not genius. The secret is not luck. The secret is not even talent. The secret is simple. Never stop and never be afraid to look foolish. Would you like me to also expand keynote? No. 2 in the same 700, word Jack Ma style. When we talk about learning English fast, many people think it is about finding shortcuts. But real shortcuts are not about skipping the journey. They are about walking it smarter. I remember the time I met people who were desperate to learn English quickly. They bought all the books, downloaded every app, and still they could not speak with confidence. Why? Because they thought the secret was hidden in some tool. But the truth is, the real tool is you. Your discipline, your daily practice, your attitude. That is what creates super fast learning. If you cannot control your fear of mistakes, no app in the world will make you fluent. The first thing to understand is that speed comes from action, not from planning. So many learners spend their energy making schedules, making goals, making dreams, but they forget to actually speak. You cannot learn swimming by reading about it. You must jump into the water. The same with English. You cannot learn it by planning alone. You must open your mouth. You must listen. You must read. You must write. If you spend 1 hour a day thinking about English, but only 10 minutes practicing, you will stay in the same place. If you spend 10 minutes thinking and 1 hour practicing, you will move 10 times faster. Another mistake people make is believing they need 1,000 words before they can start speaking. You don't. You can start with 50 words. You can start with 1 sentence. Even how are you? And I am fine. You can begin. It is like planting a seed. A seed is small, but if you water it every day, it grows into a tree. Fluency works the same way. Do not wait for a forest before you start. Plant 1 seed, take care of it, and the forest will grow. When you practice a little every day, you are not just learning words, you are building confidence. And confidence is the fuel of speed. One thing that makes learning fast is to make English your environment, not just your subject. Many learners keep English locked in their notebooks. They only open it during study time, and then they close it again. But language does not grow in a box. It grows in your daily life. When you wake up, think of 1 sentence in English. When you walk, describe what you see in English. When you watch the news, repeat the headlines in English. Slowly, English becomes part of your thoughts, part of your habits, part of your identity. At that point, you are no longer just learning English. You are living it. And living is always faster than studying. I also want to tell you that mistakes are not your enemy. They are your best teacher. Many people delay speaking because they are afraid of making mistakes. But this fear is the biggest reason they stay stuck. Imagine if a child waited until he was sure he could walk perfectly before standing up. He would never walk. He stands, he falls, he cries, he tries again. That is how he learns. In the same way, you must fall with your words. You must stumble with your sentences. You must get embarrassed sometimes, because that is the price of fluency. Every mistake you make is like a payment into the bank of learning, and one day that bank will make you rich in confidence. Another secret of learning fast is to keep your practice simple but powerful. People often believe that difficult exercises and long hours mean better results, but the truth is, consistency beats intensity. Reading a short story every day is better than reading a long book once a month. Speaking for 5 minutes every morning is better than speaking for 2 hours once a week. The brain learns better through repetition than through pressure. If you repeat small actions every day, they will carve a permanent road in your mind. That is how you remember words, how you build fluency, how you move fast without even noticing. And remember, English is not just grammar and vocabulary. English is communication, it is culture, it is connection. If you focus only on rules, you will feel stuck. But if you focus on expressing yourself, you will move faster. Do not worry about saying everything correctly. Worry about being understood. If people can understand you, then you are already successful. Once you are understood, then you can polish your grammar, then you can improve your vocabulary. But fluency is about flow, not about perfection. Flow comes from using English every day, in real situations with real people. Finally, you need patience disguised as urgency. What do I mean? Urgency means you practice today, you don't wait until tomorrow, you don't waste time. Patience means you don't expect miracles after 1 week, you don't quit after one failure. Combine both and you have the perfect engine for fast learning. Urgency makes you move, patience makes you stay, and together they make you unstoppable. Every day you practice, you are adding speed. Every day you don't quit, you are building strength. That is the formula for super fast English learning, from beginner to fluent. Do you also want me to expand Keynote? No. 3 into the same 700-word, Jack Ma-style speech. When someone begins the journey of learning English, they often imagine a straight road, smooth and clear. But in reality, the road is full of bumps, twists, and sudden turns. Many people quit halfway because they see those bumps as obstacles instead of lessons. The truth is, if you want to move from beginner to fluent quickly, you must change the way you see the struggle. The struggle is not slowing you down. The struggle is building your strength. Every time you face a difficult word, every time you forget a phrase, every time you get stuck in conversation, you are not failing, you are training. Just like muscles grow when you lift heavy weights, your fluency grows when you lift heavy mistakes. Too many learners wait for a perfect teacher, a perfect book, or a perfect app before they start speaking. They believe if they just find the right method, they will suddenly become fluent. But fluency does not appear like magic. It is created in the moments when you push yourself to speak even when your voice is shaking. It is created when you listen to something difficult and refuse to give up halfway. It is created when you write down your thoughts in English, Even if you only know simple words, the perfect method does not exist, but the perfect attitude does. That attitude is to start where you are, use what you have, and never stop moving forward. One thing that learners often forget is that fluency is not about the size of your vocabulary, it is about the speed of your courage. You can know 1,000 words but stay silent, or you can know 50 words and communicate. The person with 50 words will move faster because they dare to use them. And the funny thing is, once you use 50 words, you will learn the 50 first, the 52nd, the 100th. Language is like a door that only opens when you knock. If you don't knock, it will stay shut forever. If you keep knocking, sooner or later the door swings wide open. To speed up your learning, you must create an environment where English is always around you. Imagine trying to learn swimming while living in a desert. You may read about swimming, but without water, you cannot learn. The same with English, you need to surround yourself with it. Watch shows, listen to music, talk to people online, change your phone settings, even dream in English if you can. When you surround yourself with English, it stops feeling like a subject and starts feeling like a normal part of your life. Once it becomes normal, fluency grows naturally and quickly. Another key to fast learning is making peace with your mistakes. Many beginners are afraid of embarrassment, but let me tell you, embarrassment is your tuition fee. You pay it once, and you never forget the lesson. If you say something wrong, and someone corrects you, that correction will stay in your mind longer than anything you read in a book. Mistakes are like stepping stones across a river. If you avoid them, you will never cross to the other side. If you step on them, even if you slip, you are still moving forward. Those who laugh at mistakes today will clap for fluency tomorrow. Consistency is another secret ingredient. People always ask, how can I learn fast? And I tell them fast does not mean rushing. Fast means repeating. Reading 5 pages every day is faster than reading 100 pages once a month. Speaking for 10 minutes daily is faster than speaking for 2 hours once a week. Small habits create big results because the brain learns better with repetition. Every day you repeat a small action, you make a small cut in the stone of your memory, and eventually those cuts carve a clear path. That is how fluency is built quickly. Not with pressure, but with persistence. It is also important to stop chasing perfection. Perfection is a trap. If you wait to be perfect, you will never begin, and if you never begin, you will never become fluent. Fluency is not about saying everything correctly. It is about keeping the conversation alive. If someone understands you, you are already successful. The details can be polished later, but speed comes from flow, not from flawless grammar. The faster you accept imperfection, the faster you grow. There is another truth about fast learning. It is not only about what you do, but also about how you feel. If you see English as a burden, you will move slowly. If you see it as an opportunity, you will move quickly. Your energy decides your speed. When you enjoy the process, when you laugh at your mistakes, when you feel proud of every small improvement, you will learn 10 times faster. People who are stressed and afraid move slowly. People who are excited and curious move fast. The mind learns best when it is happy. And above all, remember that those who become fluent are not always the smartest. They are the ones who never stopped. The road may be long, but every step counts. Every day you practice, you are one step closer to fluency, and every day you avoid practice, you are one step further. The choice is always in your hands. When you begin learning English, the first thing that comes to your mind is usually how long it will take. People want fast results. They want to go from beginner to fluent in the shortest time possible. But they often confuse speed with skipping effort. The truth is, speed comes not from avoiding effort, but from using it wisely. I have seen so many learners who spend years memorizing rules, yet they cannot hold a simple conversation. At the same time, I have seen learners who after just a few months can communicate confidently. The difference is not intelligence, the difference is approach. If you want to move fast, you must treat English as something alive, not as something locked in a textbook. The first step to fast fluency is courage. Without courage, every book and every method is useless. You must have the courage to open your mouth, the courage to listen to what you don't understand, the courage to face embarrassment. People think fluency is about knowledge, but really, fluency is about confidence. You do not need to know everything to start speaking. You only need to use what you already know. A child does not wait to learn every word before speaking. He starts with simple words and adds more over time. The same principle applies to you. Start small, start broken, but start. Because the longer you wait, the slower you will move. Another important thing to understand is that English is not something you study once and forget. It is something you must build into your daily life. Fast learners do not lock English inside a classroom. They bring it into their homes, their phones, their music, their conversations. They turn learning into living. If you listen to a podcast every morning, watch a short video in the afternoon, and write a few sentences at night, you are already surrounding yourself with English. That environment works like a magnet, pulling fluency closer to you. The more you live in English, the faster English will live in you. Mistakes are another area where learners waste time. Many people spend too much energy avoiding mistakes instead of using them. But mistakes are not walls, they are doors. Each mistake you make is an entry point to improvement. Think about the last time you used a word incorrectly and someone corrected you. Did you ever forget that correction? Probably not. That is the power of mistakes. They burn lessons into your memory in a way success never can. If you want speed, you must collect mistakes because each one is a shortcut to fluency. Fear of mistakes slows you down, but acceptance of mistakes pushes you forward faster than you expect. Consistency is the engine of fast learning. Many people think they need to study 5 hours a day to improve quickly. But the brain does not grow best under pressure. The brain grows with repetition. If you practice a little every day, you will improve more than if you practice a lot once in a while. Small habits are powerful. Reading 1 page every morning, writing 3 sentences every evening, speaking for 10 minutes before bed. These habits look small, but when repeated daily, they create unstoppable progress. Fast learners are not the ones who study the hardest for a week. They are the ones who keep going for months without stopping. One mistake that slows learners down is focusing only on grammar. Grammar has its place, but it should not be your prison. If you spend all your time correcting yourself, you will freeze in conversation. Fluency is not about perfect grammar. It is about flow. If people understand you, you are already communicating. You can polish grammar later, but if you aim for perfection too early, you will never speak. Fast learners focus first on expressing themselves. Then they refine their skills. The goal is communication, not perfection. Your energy also decides your speed. If you see English as boring, heavy, and difficult, you will move slowly. But if you see it as exciting, fun, and full of opportunity, you will move quickly. Fast learners make learning enjoyable. They watch movies they like. They read stories that interest them. They talk about things they care about. When learning is fun, the brain learns faster. Enthusiasm is a secret accelerator. Without it, every step feels heavy. With it, even difficult steps feel light. Finally, the secret to moving from beginner to fluent quickly is not talent, it is persistence. The people you admire who speak fluently were not born that way. They started like you, with fear and mistakes. But they did not stop. They kept going when it was hard. They kept going when it was slow. They kept going when others gave up. That persistence is what turned their broken words into fluent sentences. If you want to move fast, focus less on how far you have to go and more on never stopping where you are. Each day of practice is a step forward. Each day of persistence is speed added to your journey. When people think about learning English fast, they imagine some magic formula, a secret that only a few lucky people know. They think maybe it is about talent, or maybe it is about living in another country, or maybe it is about having the best teacher. But the truth is, fast learning has nothing to do with luck or talent. It has everything to do with mindset and action. If you want to move from beginner to fluent quickly, you must stop searching for shortcuts outside and start building the right habits inside. It is not about where you are. It is about how you practice, how you think, and how you keep going even when it feels difficult. The first habit you need is courage. Without courage, every tool and every resource will be wasted. People are often afraid to open their mouth because they fear making mistakes. But the longer you keep silent, the slower your progress will be. Fluency does not come from silence, it comes from sound. Even broken sound, even wrong sound, even shy sound, it all counts. Every time you speak, you are training your brain and your tongue. The more you speak, the faster fluency comes. If you want speed, you must treat mistakes as your friends. Every wrong word you say today becomes the right word tomorrow, and that is how courage turns into confidence. Another key to learning fast is to create an environment where English is always around you. You cannot expect to grow if English only lives in your books. Books are important, but they are not enough. You must bring English into your daily life. Change your phone language. Listen to music in English. Watch videos without subtitles. Think in English when you are alone. Surround yourself so deeply that you cannot escape it. When English becomes part of your lifestyle, you do not need to force yourself to study. Fluency comes naturally because your brain gets used to the rhythm, the sound, and the structure. Consistency is also a secret weapon for fast learning. Many learners work very hard for a few days and then stop for weeks. This is why their progress is slow. Learning a language is like watering a plant. If you pour a whole bucket of water once a month, the plant will die. But if you water it a little every day, the plant will grow strong and fast. The same is true for fluency. 10 minutes a day is more powerful than 2 hours once a week. Small daily habits build a strong foundation, and that foundation becomes fluency. Fast learners are not the ones who do the most in one day, but the ones who never stop doing a little every day. It is also important to focus on communication, not perfection. Many beginners slow themselves down because they try too hard to avoid mistakes. They think if they cannot say everything correctly, they should not speak at all. But fluency is not about perfect grammar. Fluency is about flow. If the other person can understand you, you are already successful. Grammar can be polished later, but flow must come first. Fast learners do not wait until they are perfect. They start speaking immediately, even with simple words. This speed of action is what makes their progress faster than those who hesitate. Enjoyment is another fuel for fast learning. If you treat English like a punishment, you will always move slowly. But if you connect it to something you enjoy, you will learn faster without even noticing. If you like music, sing English songs. If you like movies, watch them in English. If you like writing, keep a journal in English. The brain learns best when it is happy, so give it a reason to feel excited. When you enjoy the process, time moves quickly, and so does your progress. Energy and attitude are often ignored, but they are the real difference makers. If you always complain that English is hard, your journey will feel heavy. If you tell yourself every day that you are improving, your journey will feel lighter. Belief is like a key. It can lock you inside, or it can unlock the door ahead of you. The learners who move fast are the ones who believe they can, the ones who smile at their mistakes, the ones who see progress even in small steps. They know every day brings them closer, and that belief pushes them forward at double speed. And finally, persistence is the greatest power of all. Fast does not mean rushing, it means refusing to stop. Even when you feel tired, even when you feel stuck, even when progress feels invisible, you keep going. Every day of practice adds up. Every small effort becomes part of a bigger result. Persistence is what turns a beginner into someone fluent. It is not a secret, it is not luck, it is not talent. It is simply the choice to never quit and to keep moving no matter what stands in the way. T is about being brave.